We would like to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Sonic Electronics, so check them out for great deals on speakers, head units, amps, subs, wiring, etc. Use discount code PROVOBEAST for an instant 5% off your next purchase during checkout. PROVOBEAST doing another install today. Today we're doing more of a how-to video of how to install a power inverter in your car. Now the one we've chosen to go with is this power inverter. Picked this up off of Amazon for about 50 bucks. It's rated for about 700 watt-ish, 750 watts RMS for power. Now with this installation, what we're going to be doing is wiring it up directly to the battery. We're going to fuse everything so we're safe. We have a little bit of odds and ends to help us keep the wiring clean, and the inverter itself. Now what we'll be doing for this installation is running this throughout the car. We're going to show you how to run this wire, how to hook up your fuse, and probably the best place to mount this within your vehicle. As this can be a universal install, we're going to show you just some of the tricks to get this installed nice and clean and reliably. Now as we got this all pulled apart here, here's our main inverter. We have about 17 feet of 8 gauge wire and 3 feet of ground wire. We have a fuse with a 60 amp fuse. Now, in order to get this wiring, commonly you can actually order amplifier wiring kits and use the power and ground and fuse out of those kits. We've actually done that here, so go ahead and check the link in the description. I'll show you exactly what kit we used the wiring for it, and this cost us about 17 bucks. Here's our inverter. Picked this up on Amazon. Check out the unboxing of this inverter in the description. I'll go ahead and post a little bit of specs for it, but essentially it's about 750 watts. Now our inverter itself was about 50 bucks on Amazon. So let's go ahead and show you exactly how to run all the cabling and go from that point. And here we are under the hood. We have our positive and our negative on our battery itself. Now as you can see, our positives on this end, our negatives on this end. Now what we're going to be doing is connecting our positive on our inverter using our power wire to this lead here. We're going to mount our fuse probably under the hood here in this location, and then finding firewall access, we're going to run it into the vehicle. Now up here, up underneath the dash, you're going to see this main cable port. Now if you pull this boot back a little bit, where eventually we'll put a little hole in it to run the wire through it so it's sealed, but we can pull that back, and as you can see here, that's directly the hole into the engine bay. And then on this end, we ran, as you can see a little bit of light down there, but that's where this comes up, just using a hanger. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little slit in that grommet and run our power wire up into the engine bay from inside of the car. Alright, here we go. So we went ahead and got our fuse and fuse holder mounted. Now I chose not to drill to anything, I just zip tied it to existing wiring, just so I can move it around if needs be to get the battery out. It's kind of tight here under the hood. Now it's up to you, as long as it's not connected to anything moving or hot. Just make sure your fuse holder is mounted. It's all cleaned up wiring wise. And then our positive here, when we're all ready to go, we're going to put here on the positive side post of the battery itself. Alright, so we ran ahead and ran the wire inside here. Now of course we put it right through that rubber grommet. We just made a little slit and ran the wire through just so it's sealed around it and there won't be any leaks in case the road is wet. So that's good to go. And now we're going to run this cabling up underneath this carpet here. We can just pull it back, work it all the way underneath. And really, we're going to put the inverter kind of right here, down low, so both the front seat and with extension cords, the back seat can actually have access to it. Nice thing is it has USBs on it, and so we want to make sure those are usable at all times. So, running that cabling up underneath here. We're probably going to see if we can run up underneath this carpet and have it come out probably around this area so it looks super clean and none of the cables get in the way. Alright, so I chose this to be my location for the inverter, so I'm going to try to run these cables underneath the carpet. Now, this center console fortunately came out, and there was just a plate here that was held on with 4 screws. The plate just came off. Okay, so I ran the wire, as you can see here, and used a hanger and just fished it up underneath, and it came out here. Now, as you can see here, this mounting plate has some nice bolts that go right into the frame. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this carpet back and clean up those bolts and use one of those bolts as a ground. Alright, so see that little bolt there? Went ahead and cleaned the paint off just with the wire brush there. Put a ring terminal on this grounding wire and then cinched it down so it's nice and tight. Ran it out here. I've cut my power wire and ground wire about the same length. Now I kept this length here just in case you have the inverter in the front, or if you up and over the console, you can also feed the wire into the back, keeping it flexible. So make sure when you install your inverter you have a really good ground. Always clean the paint off just so it's a nice clean connection. Make sure the wires are always out of the way of everything. And at this point we're going to put some ring terminals on here, get it hooked up to our inverter. Okay, so we have the plate back on, and then everything is hooked up. Blue is our positive, black is our negative. Good to go. So at this time, let's go ahead and get everything hooked up underneath the hood. Now, like I said before, let's go ahead and remove the negative. So we can loosen the nut on the positive, just slip the ring terminal on, tighten down the nut, and then put the negative back on. Okay, so we've got the positive on. Now we're going to put the negative back on the battery. Okay, so we've got the center console all back in, and it's on and good to go. We actually have our main battery on a charger just to get it all prepped for use. And as you can see, we're pulling about 13 volts. Nice thing is this has an alarm on this inverter as well, so if the battery gets a little bit low, it'll sound off the alarm, just warning you to avoid the risk of a dead battery. So that's it. If you have any questions about this inverter install, just go ahead and post a comment below, and we will certainly see you in the next video.